Great.
Alrighty, when I was young, I spent my weekends wasting away playing Super Mario Brothers. Many of those times I hear my mom and dad talking, and my dad working 40 hours a week likes to go out and play golf on the weekends when he has some free time because he was an avid golfer. My mother, on the other hand, wants to do yard work to get the house looking nice and whatnot. And so I would be sitting there listening to them argue about what's going to happen. And about 30 minutes later, my dad would be putting on his work clothes and going outside to do all the yard work my mom wants done. This resembles a quote by Robert Hyman. It says, "Women and cats will do as they please, and men and dogs had better get used to it." I'll go out on a limb and say that I agree with that one. And I can use 2 literal examples from that. I had a cat and a dog when I was growing up as well. And the cat had to be about this big or so. And I have a golden retriever dog, so you're thinking maybe something like this, about that tall. This cat owned that dog. I mean, the cat walked into a room, and the dog could not look at it in the face, tail between the legs, going to run behind my mom or dad just to hide from the cat. And they even start playing, and the cat would just start slapping it in the face and start biting it on the mouth and whatnot. And my dog was terrified of the cat. So after a while, whenever the cat entered the room, my dog would just bolt and just get out of its way and just wait till it eats or wait till it went outside and he'd be done with it. Another example is if anyone's been in a relationship, you know that sometimes you can't win all your battles, and sometimes you kind of have to give in and do what your girlfriend wants to, speaking from a guy's standpoint. Example of that being is like going to the movies where the girl wants to wants to watch romantic comedy, but the guy wants to see an action flick. And more often than not, that you're going to say yes to the romantic comedy because you're not going to want to deal with the silence that you're going to get treated with, or the behavior or the punishment that you're going to endure for it. So we kind of have to give in and pick our battles that we want to choose. So to sum it up, women and cats, they kind of rule, and so being as men and dogs, we just kind of have to sit idly by and pick the battles we want to win, because if we pick the right ones, then we get the ones we want. Otherwise, we just kind of have to go with the flow.
She wanted to watch him like, tell him to start looking over the rap. They will not. As soon as there's all these the war crimes and like I was kind of loud. The new stuff got that tradition. Like it's long. Bad. You gotta love that stuff. Man, because I was talking to the screen and I guess he was I see the movie right here.
All right, Matt, the personal story about the yard work was pretty effective. It worked well for the topic that you came up with. Maybe a little literal on the quote and your interpretation on it, but I like the examples, and I think most people did. They were enjoying them. You had a funny story about the cat and the dog, and of course everybody in here probably relates from either perspective to the one that you have in the second point. Your presentation, I think you need to project your voice a little bit more. Sometimes you're dropping it for effect, I can tell. You know, you're kind of bringing us in conspiratorially, you know, that sort of thing. But I think you need a little bit more energy there to keep us involved in the presentation. There's good inflection, though, maybe a little quick. I thought you had excellent descriptive gestures in the speech. You looked pretty animated when you were speaking to us. Your eye contact was very nicely distributed. You're looking at the audience the whole time. You're trying to engage people while you're speaking, and I thought that was pretty clear. Your posture is also very effective. You swivel a little bit when you speak. You're not really moving around too much. It seems when you do move, it's connected to something that you're talking about or an idea or a point that you're trying to make. I didn't see any obvious anxiety issues, and I thought you responded pretty well to the audience. However, I am taking a couple of points away because you wore that damn hat.